back to the mat, everybody. This evening's practice, arm balancing, fun and games. Just let someone else in there. So having a couple of blocks to hand is pretty important. So even sized books, also good, and a pillow, something to sit on, or a folded blanket like myself here. I think that should be about it. And yeah, we can improvise as well as we work through. And just embracing this practice with a sense of fun. Some of the poses can be quite difficult. We're going to be doing a lot of hamstring work. And please just listen to your body. Reel it back in if you need to. I'll give you modifications, but I can't be there with you, so you need to, and I know you will anyway. Just listen to the body, soften the knees, take it out of the intense sweet spot if you need to, if you feel anything. We don't want anything going ping. Okay, so let's get started. Sit yourself up in a folded blanket or a cushion. In an easy cross-legged position here, Sukhasana, all right? And then just pull any flesh out behind you. And just in an attempt to gather ourselves and ground ourselves in, we're gonna pick up all of that energy that's been kind of leaking out left, right, and center. People have been sucking on our energy all day, or stresses have caused us to, spring a leak. Let's just gather that all up, just symbolically. Take the hands, palms facing up, take a big breath in and just gather that all up. And then we're just going to draw it as we exhale down into the midline, just everything back in to the center once more, pressing the palms together as we bring them down to our navel. And again, another breath in, draw it all the way in. And as you exhale, bring it in towards the midline. Feel the breath drawing down and into the earth beneath you. And again, big breath in. Exhale, just telling yourself now to be present to yourself, supporting yourself as you move through this playful practice tonight. Big inhale and up. And exhale. Feels so good. Let's do one more. Big one in. And exhale. Good. So take your right hand to the floor, left arm up towards the sky, stretch it up and overhead, turn the palm of that left hand down and reach out through the little finger side edge of the hand. Lift up into both sides of the rib cage, anchoring firmly down into that left sit bone. You can spin the chest up again. Exhale. Start to use your Ujjayi breath from the start. 2 more here. Reach up and out. And again. And as you exhale, take that left hand down, sweep it down and bring it out to the side there. So you're at a diagonal into a fold. Drop your gaze inwards towards the navel. And you can feel that releasing into the low back left side QL. See if when you inhale, you can really start to lift both sides of the chest as well. Exhale, core sitting in around the rib cage. And again. Exhale. 2 more. And then on your next inhale, bring that left hand all the way up again. And then open it up as you exhale. Other side, right arm lifts, big inhale. Exhale and stretch it out. Lift the chest. Take those lower ribs away from the pelvis, find space. Spin the chest up towards the sky. Two more. Last one. And exhale, sweep it down in front of you, come into the diagonal and fold over that left thigh. Anchor that right sit bone down firmly, feeling that opening into the right low back. Spin the chest, good. So it's starting to even up both sides. And we have the blocks, and at any time if you need a little bit more length onto your arms, use them. Don't be afraid to use your props. They can really help you get a lot deeper into a pose, particularly if you're not looking at, lengthening your arms, you're looking at maybe opening the hips. They can really take your attention off the perhaps tightness in one part of the body so that you can really open up in another. One more here. Exhale, and then inhale, bring it into the overhead side stretch again, extending up and away. And then inhale, bring it up, all the way, exhale and release. Let's come off our back sides and come onto our hands and knees. Okay, so we're coming into all fours with the hands shoulder distance apart, fingers are spread wide, knees beneath the hips, knees are hip distance apart, and we're going to start with some simple cat-cows. Inhale, lift the chest, bring the sides of the neck back, drop the belly, and lift those sit bones. My voice just changed radically there. Exhale, round it in, drop the gaze inwards, push the floor away, and again, inhale, just breaking through any of that stiffness, any stickiness that you collected during the day. Bring those shoulders down from the ears. Exhale. Let's move with the breath now. Just in your own time. And as you move from one position to the next, just notice how it feels in the body. Notice how the movement is. Exhale. Should start to begin to loosen up a bit now. Take two more of these. And then exhale, roll the toes under and lift the knees up off the floor, downward facing dog. Let's take the big wave sequence here. So we're going to just bend the knees, look forward and come through kind of a cow as we bring our knees down towards the floor and sit back towards the heels. Head towards the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor and if it's not comfortable in the low back, don't go down so far. Inhale, round your back, think cat pose as you rise up to all fours. And then hold it when your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, roll your toes under and find cow pose. Tilt the pelvis, lift the chest, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, round your back and forward through cat pose. And then exhale from cow, sit back towards your heels. Nice and easy, just noticing how that feels in your body. Take as much time, take an extra breath if you need to. It's actually more important if you find a little bit of resistance in the body to slow it right back for yourself and just gently work out the knots. Exhale. And then each knot that's opened is a little bit deeper an understanding you have of where you're holding tension in the body and how you can help work with that. Okay, let's take it back down again. Exhale, sit back towards your heels. Inhale, round the back, come on up. And exhale, downward facing dog. A couple more of these. And last round. And if you're not in the same place as me, it doesn't matter. Inhale. Exhale, just hold it here in all fours. And then you're just simply going to take the elbows down, keep them shoulder distance apart. Bring the hands into prayer position there, and then energetically drawing those elbows back in towards your knees. Draw the shoulder blades onto your back. Feel that gorgeous shoulder opening as we move into puppy pose, keeping the hips nice and high. Good. Keep drawing those elbows back without actually moving them, so they're driving down into the earth and back. Bring those clasped hands behind the nape of the neck. Tone in the belly. Tone in the pelvic floor. Take 3 more rounds of breath here. Last one. Exhale and slowly release as you exhale, coming back to all fours. Take the knees slightly behind the hips, roll the toes under and press on back to downward facing dog. Let's just get into the hip flexors here for a sec. Push into the hands, push into the left foot, lift the right leg up towards the sky. A little opening of that left hamstring as we reach up through the right heel, keeping the hips squared for a sec. Push down into that right hand. Good, relax the head, relax the neck. Now we're going to get quite deeply into those hammies today, so this is a nice start, so don't overdo it. Then bend that right knee, stack the hips, lifting that right knee up towards the sky, bringing the right heel in towards your left buttock. And the tendency here is to sway to the left. Try not to do that. Try to square the chest off. Keep lifting into that left armpit and press into the right hand. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale, stretch that right leg up. And then exhale, set the foot back, downward facing dog again. Press back. Inhale. Exhale. Second side. Left leg lifts. Keep the toes and the knees pointing down. Good. And just be conscious that your core is engaged here, your belly is engaged, your shoulder blades are drawing onto your back and you're supporting yourself. You're not just sitting in the shoulders. Exhale, bend the knee. Take that left heel behind by the right buttock and lift up. Press into the left hand, lift into the right armpit. We all do it. So just finding that little adjustment there. Good, keep lifting that left knee up, up. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, set it back down. Okay, so for the next one, just drop your knees to the floor for a second. Grab hold of a block or whatever you're going to use for a block today. Pop it between your thighs, okay? And then make your way into plank pose. So knees just working behind the hips a little bit. Roll the toes under, and then exhale, lift those knees up off the floor. Okay, drop the hips, lift the chest forward. Now you can come down onto your knees anytime you want. Let's get into the core a little bit more here. What we're going to do is squeeze that block with the thighs, squeeze the ankles in towards each other. So we're drawing in towards the midline, and at the same time, this very small movement, just dropping the tailbone down towards the heels. And as you do that, you feel the navel drawing in towards the spine. Okay, so as the pelvis draws back, the navel draws in, squeezing the block, keep going, 4, that's about 6, keep going, we'll call that 6, 7, squeeze, 8, 9, and 10, keep going. 10, you can drop the knees and have a breather if you want. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it, and 1. This time, don't drop the hips, just drop the knees. Whoo, and lift. Drop the knees, keep the hips exactly where they are, and lift. Drop the knees, lift the knees. Drop the knees, lift the knees. Let's take another 4, 3, squeeze the block, and last one, Good. Drop the knees, release. Well done. Take it into a little child's pose. Knees wide, heels together. Whew. And bring it back in. Big breath in here. Exhale out. And again. And exhale. Last one. Okay, let's make our way into downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Exhale out. Good. So, feeling pretty strong. Just walk out your dog till you find somewhere that's comfortable. Make sure those hands are spread nice and wide. You're pressing the fingertips into the floor, drawing up those arms into the back of the heart, and the head's dropping down, the belly is engaged. Soft knees, and draw those inner thighs back and apart. Just feel that gentle tug there on the back of the legs. The heels do not have to reach the floor, but they're working their way down there. Last breath. Exhale. Inhale. Look up towards the hands there. Nice soft knees. Just walk your feet slowly up towards your hands. Now, you can come onto your fingertips there. Just walk them to the outside of the hands. Okay, and at any time you have your blocks handy, but we're going to be moving, so I'll just leave them out for a moment. Soft knees and fold. So your feet are kind of as wide as, a little bit wider than hip distance at the moment. Soft knees. And see if you can just walk your hands back a little bit further back than your heels there on the insides of your feet. And then inhale, walk your hands forward again. Toe your feet in a little bit closer together, and then just take those hands up into the creases of your hips. Bring your elbows back and press into the floor. Inhale to lift. Exhale and release. Good, so now you're up. Take a breath or two here. And we're going to take a little side stretch. So you're going to bring your left ankle behind the right and draw right in towards the midline. Just draw those thighs in towards each other strongly. Take the tailbone down and feel that belly engage. And then lift the arms up and overhead. Take the left wrist in the right hand and stretch over to the right, keeping the leg engagement. And then see if you can spin the chest up towards the ceiling a little bit more. Squeezing, engaging, drawing in towards the midline. Feel the earth beneath your feet, or the carpet, or the wood floor, whatever you're on, your mat. And just know that beneath you is all the support you could ever need. Last breath. And then exhale, release. We'll take that to the second side. Step the right foot behind the left. Squeeze the legs, tailbone down, belly engages, lift the arms up. Right hand, right wrist in the left hand. Stretch over. Squeezing in. Last one. And exhale, release. Give the shoulders a few rolls. We're going to take some Surya Namaskar A, simple as, just to get some heat into the body, okay? Because that's what we're going to really be working on initially, is getting heat in, opening up those tight legs, bit of shoulder opening as well, and just getting into the body. So just enjoy it. If you need to take the pace back, skip a vinyasa, take it through dog or even into child's pose, you go and do that. Whatever is working for you today. So at the top of your mat, take your feet inner hip distance apart, parallel feet, then just lift the chest, lift the arms, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Big breath in. As you exhale, you fold with soft knees, fold, fold, fold. Drop the head down towards the floor, fingertips to the floor or to your shins. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees a lot. Place the hands shoulder distance apart and step, or you can jump back. If you're jumping back, go straight into Chaturanga and lift the chest. So everyone's in plank now. Lift the chest. Exhale to Chaturanga, or drop the knees, drop the hips and come and lie down. I've already done this practice, so I'll take the slower one. Inhale, lift the chest to Cobra or Up Dog. Okay, squeeze those inner thighs together. Lift the chest, ears away from shoulders. Elbows in nice and tight. And then exhale, toes roll, knees lift and hips are back. Good. Take a couple of breaths here. Last one. And by a couple I mean a few. Inhale, look forward with the hands. Come onto the toes, bend the knees and step or jump your way forward to Uttanasana, the forward fold. Exhale to fold in. Inhale, root down and rise to stand. Bring it straight back in. Exhale and fold. Soft knees. Inhale, Urdhva. I've forgotten. Exhale and fold. Uttanasana. Okay, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, bend the knees, place the hands, step back to plank. Lift the chest. Take it to Chaturanga or knees, hips, chest. Inhale, curl to Cobra or Up Dog, yogi's choice. Don't squeeze those buttocks together. Good, squeeze the thighs instead. Toes, knees and hips, downward facing, 3 rounds of breath. Exhale. Inhale, look forward with the hands, toes, and jump to Uttanasana. Exhale to fold in. Inhale, root down and rise. Straight back in on your exhale, fold. Soft knees. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, take it back. On your inhale, lift. Exhale, take Chaturanga. Cobra or Up Dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold it here. Okay, one more. Exhale it out. Now inhale, lift your right leg to 3-legged dog. Feel the left hamstring opening up. Exhale, just bend that knee in towards your nose, look forward of your hands, lift the chest forward to make some room, and then bring the back knee, low lunge to the floor. Good, take one hand on either side of the front foot and let the hips get nice and heavy, lift the chest. Maybe lift your hands up off the floor, keep the legs strongly engaged, and take Garudasana arms, knit the right arm underneath the left. Wrapping them around as much or as little as you can, and then take the hips down towards the floor, lift those tangled arms up towards the ceiling. Two more here. And then exhale, release those hands to the floor, roll the toes of the back foot under, and then stack that front knee over the heel there, and take that outer right hip back, outer left hip forward, nice and strong in the legs. Keep the back heel lifted and rise up to crescent lunge. Take those hands together, Lifting those pointed fingers, pressing in towards each other. The index fingers are pressing in towards each other. Good. Uttara Bodhi Mudra. Tail going down. Good. Tail and belly is engaged. Lower ribs drawing down. Showing we are not afraid of challenge. We're ready. One more here. And then exhale, just take those hands slowly down towards the floor, and you can step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in, exhale it out, and again, exhale. Last one, exhale. Second side, left leg lifts. On your exhale, bring the knee towards the nose, shift the chest forward, step it through, low lunge. Fingertips to the floor, let the hips get nice and heavy. Lift the chest. Get nice and light in those fingers, and then lift them up off the floor, keeping those legs strongly engaged. Left arm underneath the right. Eagle arms, lift the elbows. Press into the toenails of that back foot. Strong into those legs, push into that left heel. 3 more. It's okay to feel movement, you're supposed to. It's being okay with the movement, and that's where the yoga is. And again, exhale, release. Good, fingertips to the floor or to the blocks. Roll the toes of the back foot under and lift up. Bring that left knee in line with the ankle. And then hug that outer left hip in. So you're scissoring up those hips, making the legs really strong. Now push up through that inner back thigh and lift up, taking your Uttara Bodhi Mudra. Again, pressing the index fingers in against each other. Good. Lift the chest. Knit those lower ribs down. Again, lift up through that back thigh. Push out through the back heel. 2 more, and again, and then exhale, take it through a vinyasa or just straight to downward facing dog. Yogi's choice, lift the chest, chaturanga, inhale, up dog or cobra, exhale to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So it's a spicy practice this evening. So if you need to feel it back, go ahead. Exhale. Let's take that right leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, and you're going to come into a dragon. So bring the 2 hands on the inside of that front foot. You can drop the back knee gently to the floor. And walk that right foot out to the side of the mat there. Make some room to come into a deeper opening of the hips. Maybe elbows to the floor or to a block. Let the hips get nice and heavy. You can roll onto the outer edge of that right foot or point it out at an angle. Anything that gives you a little bit more room to get deeply into those hips. Now stay upright if that's enough for you. You can put your hands on your blocks and stay upright too. So loads of modifications. Okay, last breath here. And then exhale, just coming back up again. You're just going to slowly toe heel that right foot in towards the midline. And then roll the toes of the back foot under. And you're going to come up into pyramid pose, Parsvattanasana. Step that back foot in. 2 legs are straight. Now, if the arms are coming up way up off the ground, use your blocks. Okay, big hamstring opener here. So mind yourself, if that front leg is tight, soften the knee. If the back heel is rising up, 2 options. Step it in closer. Pop something underneath like the blanket or a little jumper, whatever you have. Now again, scissoring that the hips, so that outer right hip is drawing in. Outer left hip drawing forward. And you can just take your time here. Feel that lovely opening happening. Relax the head as you're folding inwards. If you feel very unsteady, you can take your feet slightly wider apart. Good. Just these hamstrings are really tight, you know, and it just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of patience and perseverance just to get a little bit of opening. It's like they just eventually start to give. So just a couple more breaths here. And what we're going to do is we're going to step forward and come into a standing splits. And it doesn't sound as scary as it isn't as scary as it sounds. Or maybe it is. That's up to you. Well, you can modify it however you want. So soften that front knee. And what you're going to do is you can have the blocks if you want. Step forward, bring that left leg up a little bit or a lot. Okay? Now it's split, so they can split a little bit or split a lot. Now you can lift it up and juice up that back leg, lifting it up higher and higher. Okay? Now you can have your hands on the floor if that feels more secure. Or you can take your left hand wide and take your right hand behind your ankle on the right leg. And juice up that back leg a little bit more. Strong hamstring work. Good. You're looking forward of that right foot. The standing leg is straight. Okay. On your exhale, soften the front leg. Slowly lower the back leg, and you're going to step back through downward facing dog. Hands to the floor, sweep it back. Downward facing dog. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, you can go ahead if you're feeling energetic. If you want to hang out in dog, it's 3 breaths here. And just notice how that right leg feels in comparison to the left. And again, exhale. So those of you who have done a vinyasa, you'll have met us here. And when you're ready, we're going to take an inhale and lift the left leg. So do the second side. On your exhale, just step it through to meet your hands. Bring your back knee to the floor and step your 2 hands on the inside of that front foot. Toe heel the front foot out to the side. Maybe roll open the sole of the foot. Whatever you need, you know how to modify now. So just taking your elbows to the floor, to blocks, hands to blocks, let those hips get nice and heavy, and keep the chest moving forward. Big chaturanga chest all the time, finding that length in the spine and keeping the shoulders back from the ears, so you're keeping the shoulder girdle nice and safe. Good. Now if you want more, you can always roll the toes of the back foot under and lift that back knee up. Okay. Exhale, drop the back knee to the floor. Bring your hands onto the floor and just toe heel that left foot into the midline. Rolling the toes of the back foot under if they're not already. Lift up, Parsvattanasana, pyramid pose. So you can have your hands on blocks if you want. And fold in. Soften the knees as needs. Bring that outer left thigh back and in. Good. So body is beginning to sing. Try and relax as much as possible. The more you relax and the more you ask, hey body, let's just relax. It's safe. Then that hamstring will start to release. So if you are straining to get the hands to the floor, it would be a good idea to take your blocks and extend your arms here so that your legs can relax and work a little bit harder at opening. So that was what I was talking about earlier. Okay, now from here we're going to come into standing splits. So you're just going to soften that front knee, start to move your weight forward, lifting that back foot off the floor when it feels light enough to do it. Now you can just hover here if you want, or you can start to juice it up a little bit more, bringing it up towards the ceiling. Take that right hand out to the side, and the left hand behind the left ankle, and then lift up a little bit more. Your gaze is forward of that left big toe. Good. Folding in. Big work. Keeps pulling all the muscles in around the bones there, around that standing leg, nice and strong. And then when you're ready, we're going to take a vinyasa on an exhale. Soften that front knee, step gracefully back. As graceful as you can. Lift the chest. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, press your arm back, downward facing dog. Well done. Good. Notice how good the backs of those legs feel. Oh, they feel about 2 inches longer. Oh, it's great. Take another big breath in there. Exhale it out. And we're going to take that right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step around through to a crescent lunge, rise up. Bring those hands up. You can take your Uttara Bodhi Mudra again. Good, lift the chest. Take the arms back. Good. Strong lift through that back thigh. Gaze forward. And on your exhale, take the left hand to the floor on the inside of that front foot. And we're going to move into Vashisthasana or side plank. This is going to look different for different people. So you can toe heel that right foot around, take the kickstand and hang out here. Alright? You can take it into full Vashisthasana. Good, stacking the feet and then push the heels away. Lift the chest, tailbone down. Down towards your heels. Good. Another breath in here, push the floor away. Lifting up into that armpit, and you can feel the engagement into the back body there. Now, we're going to work into wild thing. So if you're here, you literally just step that top leg over the back. Okay? So step the top leg over the back, lift the hips, lift the chest, open it, spin the gaze up towards the sky. Good, let the head fall back, push the floor away. Big breath in, enjoy it. And then exhale, turn to look down. Right hand to the floor. Now you can change it, you can go to vinyasa, you can go to downward facing dog. You can do whatever feels good for you right now. And then enjoy. Downward facing dog, well done. 3 big breaths in here. Exhale. And again. Use your Ujjayi breath. Alright, take an extra breath. That's mainly because I needed it. And then left side, left foot lifts. On your exhale, step it through, crescent lunge, rise up. Strong legs. Find your mudra. And if the mudra is putting you off balance, don't use it. Lift up strongly through that back thigh. Exhale, right hand to the floor, take a little twist, and as you move from the twist into Vashisthasana, you can hold on in your side plank with your kickstand, or roll onto the outer edge of that right foot and stack the feet. Good, hold it here. Keep lifting strongly up into that right armpit. Feel that connection with the shoulder blade onto the spine. And then when you're ready, we're going to take it either from the kickstand or from side plank. Step that top leg back behind you, knee soft. Then lift the hips, lift the chest. Take that left hand, palm face up. Take the left arm back. Good. It's good. here. This is a fantastic pose. Wild thing. Exhale, turn to look down. Take the left hand to the floor. Take it through a vinyasa. Take it into downward face dog or even into child's pose. Okay, downward facing. 3 big breaths in here. Exhale. Exhale. Take an extra one. And out. Okay, inhale, lift the right leg. I know you're working really hard, but your hamstring's gonna love you for it. Step the right foot forward, take it into dragon again. Back knee to the floor, hands on the inside of that front foot, and toe heel front foot out to the edge. Okay, your blocks are handy, they're here. You may feel that you can get down a little bit lower than you could before, and if you can, that's great. If you can't, that's also fine, whatever. Okay, now let those hips get nice and heavy. Let the breath settle. So we've built up a nice bit of heat in the body, and I'm going to invite you now to go a little bit deeper into the hip opening. Maybe you can snuggle your right arm behind the right calf. Maybe a little bit like putting on the strap of a handbag. You can feed your arm through there, okay? And then just feel the back of your right arm pressing against the back of the calf there, and the calf pressing into the arm. Just feel that. Good. Keep the chest lifting forward. So you've got your handbag on, you're ready to go. It's really heavy, you can feel it weighing down your shoulder. Good. One more here. And then you're simply going to take that arm back out, and we're going to bring that hips are back, coming back, and we're coming into Ardha Hanumanasana. So you can have your blocks here. So half runner's lunge, stretching the back of that hamstring again, or the hamstring on the back of the leg. So folding forward over that right leg, curl the toes in towards your nose, and again from the outer edge of that right foot, draw right in towards that right outer hip. Now you can hang out here, but you've done so much hamstring work, you may like to have a little reach towards full Hanuman or full splits pose, and that can look kind of like, you know, you might get halfway there. But what I want you to be conscious of is keeping your hips squared off to the front of the mat. And so if you kind of end up here and then you start doing the cheerleader splits, yeah, opening the hips, you stop, okay? You're only going to hurt yourself. So, so just gently moving that front leg forward, perhaps stopping with the block under the right thigh to support yourself, or a stack of blocks. Okay, keep the toes of the back foot rolled under, and that can really help keep the hips nice and square, and you can walk your hands back. Okay. So lift the chest if that's reachable, and please don't overdo it, okay? It's very easy to overdo it. All right. And if half runner's lunge is working just fine today, that's perfect too. Okay, now hands to the floor, lift the hips and work that back foot back. Come into downward facing dog, give yourself a little bit of a shake out. Okay, left side. Exhale, stepping on through, dragon. Take those hands down. Maybe the elbows come down, walk that left foot out to the edge of the mat. Whew. And now we can think about putting on the handbag on the left side. And you may actually notice a difference from one side to the other, and that's totally normal. So let's feed that left arm behind the left calf. And walk the toes in a little bit, yeah, just to assist with that. And then squeeze the thigh, or the calf, sorry, into the arm, and the arm into the calf. Lift the chest. Good, those hips get real heavy there. Feels great to get into the hips, actually. Really good. Okay, let's take it back. Lift those hips up and back. Maybe take the blocks with you as you move into Ardha Hanuman. And scissor those hips again, forward fold, lift the chest. Find your chaturanga in your chest here again. And you can also start to work your way into full Hanuman if you wish. That's totally optional. Remember, listen to your body, squaring those hips off and using a block perhaps to support you at any point if that's available. And you just pop the block under the belly of the muscle there, okay? Not behind the knees, okay? And you can, just don't come into cheerleaders splits, please, okay? Lift the chest. Okay. Now, from here, just going to work your way back out to a seat, a very well-deserved seat, but we're nowhere near finished yet. So just wiggle it back. You're going to take those blocks, have them to hand. Okay, how are we doing? A lot of work, a lot of heat, a lot of sweat. It's all good. Okay, so we're going to just come into a kind of a cross-legged position just to start, and you're going to hug that right leg up as if you were taking it into a baby in your arms. So your baby leg, and maybe you can fasten hands, and maybe if not, you just hold it on either end, okay? And see if you can sit up enough so that you can start to rock. And if you're sagging into the low back, pop a little folded blanket underneath your seat, okay? Keep the chest lifted here. So getting deeper into those hips now. And every rock into the back, see if you can just push it back a little bit more. So you're just finding some ease. And some people will find this easier than others because everybody's pelvis is set up slightly differently. Okay, so please listen to your bodies. Now we're ready for the fun. So bring that right knee back, right knee back, right knee back. Good. And then bring that right arm forward and see if you can reach underneath that right leg and then squeeze that right calf in around the leg there, okay? So you've got your handbag on. Now I said to have blocks handy, and this is why. This is Ekapada Bhujasana, or elephant trunk pose, and I quite enjoy doing it with the blocks. You get a little bit more clearance underneath your seat. So take a block on either side, shoulder distance apart, and extend that left leg out, and that's gonna just change things up again. So get your handbag on nice and cozy, as high up that right arm as you can. Keep the chest lifted and squeeze in. Take your right hand to the block, keep the squeeze on the leg around the arm, keep the left hand on the block, lift the chest again. Keep thinking cobra pose or up dog or chaturanga in your chest, okay? Squeeze in and flex both toes, curl them in towards your nose. And what we're going to do is start to press into the heels of the hands and lift up just like this. Okay? Find a little bit of clearance, pushing out through both heels. And then back down. Play with it, come up and down a couple of times. Most important thing is protect the shoulders by keeping the chest elevated. So if you don't get off the blocks, it doesn't matter. It's going to take a little bit of time. I don't know how many times I've done it, but it takes a little bit of time to show your body the way forward. So don't lose patience with yourself. It's so important to approach tricky poses with a sense of fun, okay? So you probably try that like twice at this stage. We'll get on to the second side. Okay, extend that right leg out. and bend the left in. And you can play with this again in a few moments if you like, if this is like feeling kind of challenging where you want to be at for this evening. So bend that left leg and then lift the foot up, and you're simply going to take this baby in your arms and gently rock it back and forth. So bring that left knee back and back and back, okay? And then you can take your handbag strap and pop it on. So lift that left leg over the left upper arm and squeeze in once you arrive. You want to work it up that arm as high as you can, okay? Squeeze in when you get there and keep that activation in the leg. Now take your hands onto your blocks, lift the chest, and then simply lift the chest, press into the heels of the hands and rock your weight forward, okay? Good. And then come on down whenever you feel ready and try that again. Okay, so handbag on, squeeze in, hands to the floor, flex both feet, lift the chest, and just lift forward and up. Okay, and then down. Okay, now you can keep playing with that if you're like, I got this. Alright, or you can come on to the next one. So the next one is a shoulder press, Virabhadrasana, okay? So it's taking what we just did there, but both legs together, all right? So what you have to do for this one is come up to stand. All right, I'm gonna do this sideways on, you can see it better that way. And you take your feet hip distance apart and just fold, knees soft and fold. Walk your hands back in between the legs, bring in the back, and keep your hands shoulder distance apart. And what you're going to do is keep the chest moving forwards. Keep the chest moving forwards and the gaze moving forwards. And sit your bum down. So you've got your two handbags on. You're out for the night. Sitting back, chest lifts forward. Very common to roll all the way back. Just keep rolling if you do. Your head's tucked in, you're not going to get hurt. And walk your feet in towards each other. And see if you can hook them ankles together. When you hook the ankles, try to pull them apart energetically. Lift the chest, chaturanga chest. Good, look forward, press into those hands. Keep the chest moving forward. And find your balance. All right. Keep pulling those feet apart. And then release. I actually find that a little less hard than elephant's trunk pose. So have fun with that. If you fall, you're simply going to roll. You're simply going to roll, okay? It's really common. I've fallen already 3 times this evening. Just keep your head tucked in, no problem. And if you're nervous about it, pop a blanket behind you or something to soften it. It doesn't hurt. Famous last words. So have another go, or whatever tickles your fancy. And this one, it does work your wrists, so you're going to have tired wrists. You can give them a wee shake. Okay, we don't have long left to cool down. So there's been a lot of like folding in and compression into the organs. So let's open things up and out a little bit, okay? I see people falling down. Okay, so let's come on down onto our backs, and you can take a block with you if you'd like to take a supported bridge. Okay, so with the knees bent, take the feet hip distance apart, and walk. Actually, do you know what? Before we do that, let's take it into windscreen wiper, because I think that will feel like a nice release into the entire legs. Walk your feet really wide apart, and just alternately drop the knees and then lift them. And take your time here and just enjoy that gentle tugging around down from the hip flexors down towards the knees, just gently tugging, a gentle release and stretch and open into the sides of the belly. Relax your arms. Good work today. Tough practice, but always fun.
Good, just take another on each side. And then walk your feet into hip distance. Okay, so we're going to just start to open this area up again. What we're going to do is take an inhale and lift the hips up. My hair is getting caught there. So you can take a supported bridge if you like. I'm going to take the block onto a slightly higher level than I normally would, because I want to feel that opening across into the ribs, okay? And then, but it's important you feel stable there, all right? So take the shoulder blades onto the back, so you lift onto the tops of the shoulders, all right? And then clasp the hands underneath. So if you're finding it hard to reach around that block, just rotate it to the narrow edge. You must ensure that you feel supported, that you're not going to just fall over. Okay. Now, chin is in towards the chest. Doesn't that feel great? So with this pose, we're also cooling the energy down, preparing you to just rest, and using that Ujjayi breath, which naturally comes as well. That's just soothing the nervous system, because that was a lot of work. There's no denying. Or should I say that was a lot of play. All right. Let's just release those hands. Lift the pelvis a little bit. Good. And then take the pelvis to the floor. Now, lift the feet. Take the knees wide. Arms on the insides. Reach around to the outer edge of the feet and just take it into a happy baby. And then see if you can move that tailbone down towards the floor as you rock from side to side. Yeah. So that just feels nice in the low back after all of that flexion. And then when you're ready, you can set yourself up for a Shavasana. And this Shavasana can be any length that works for you. We're going to have a mini Shavasana, so stay here for as long as you need. Extend the legs out. Take a big, wide-legged one. Arms out, palms face up. Okay. Just let yourself sink into the support of the earth beneath you. And take a breath in from your fingertips and in from your toes, in, up the legs, up the arms, in towards the midline of the body. And as you exhale, extend out and down the legs, up and out the arms, out the top of the head, and just shine out in all directions. And again. And then take a rest. okay staying here for as long as you need. Otherwise, just bend those knees one at a time and roll to your right side. Take a breath here. Exhale and just feel your body. Just notice how you feel after that practice. And when you're ready, just bringing yourself up to a seat. And we'll take a breath in here, bringing those hands back into the midline again. Exhale fully, releasing that practice. And I'll say namaste. Thank you so much for coming onto the mat again with me. And I'll see you all again soon.